stand in the car, hoping you would call back, knowing that someday I'll come to that light.
All right, welcome to episode 7 of Valhalla TV, where today we will be talking about the healing sounds of music, and something I know a little bit about. Obviously, many of you know I am a musician.
He is.
Lately, I have been working with a few clients doing music therapy, and we've done a lot just to kind of uplift spirits and things like that. And I don't know, do you guys got any questions?
We do. Well, as you know, the reason why we're drawn to musicians is the spirit world is always communicating through music for us. And, you know, that is one of the easiest ways they can communicate is through, you know, everybody has a favorite song, you know, but music and vibration is a frequency, it's a vibration. And so, you know, that gathering of a group, Donna and I just went to a wonderful concert, Stevie Nicks, and to see that sea of people just feeling the vibration, it's just an incredible experience. So we honor your music today, and we're going to flip it around a little bit and let you talk about you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you know, I've been a musician ever since I was a young kid, and I've been best known for my folk performance, just me and my acoustic guitar. I'm also in a band called the Broken Eights, which is like hard rock music. Also another band called the Merryweathers, which is kind of folksy, bluegrassy stuff. And what I really noticed, you know, music therapy for me started when I started writing songs. And you listen to some of my songs and they're like, oh, that sounds kind of depressing or down, but that is really healing because, you know, for a depressed person, you know, you think, oh, they need to listen to happy, upbeat music. And sometimes that works, but when you're going through a breakup, I mean, what do you want to listen to? You don't want to listen to some sappy, upbeat song. You want to listen to something that's heartfelt and maybe a little sad because you connect with that, and you also, through that experience, feel like someone else gets me out there.
Right.
And, you know, it's like tuning to that frequency like we always talk through music, you know, like this note. This is the note of our bass chakra right here. It's an open C in 528 hertz tuning, and you know, just like sadness, happiness, it's all a different frequency, and sometimes you have to tune to that frequency first before you can
To raise
it up over that vibration.
It's kind of a way of meeting you where you are.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so you meet the person where they are, and then you raise them up, you know, gradually through the music, because you can't just like force someone through it. Just like in coma patients, you know, if you're in a coma, you need to strike them with something that's familiar to them. So if you can find music that they loved, or, you know, something that brings back a memory that triggers their brain to actually release chemicals in their mind to say, okay, this isn't over yet. It's time to bring your body back to this. And through music, we can do that. It is a really powerful tool.
That's interesting. Even when we go into deemed haunted locations, many researchers are playing music from an era of days gone by to kind of see if they can bring in, you know, some healing for the spirits that are there. So that's on the same level.
Yeah, because, well, like you're driving down the road, you say a song comes on you haven't heard in 30 years, and it comes on the radio. What does that make you feel? You feel that.
Go right back there.
You go right back there. You feel that nostalgia, and it's the same. You know, if you're in pain or you have a happy experience, if maybe someone in your family had passed away, and some song came on the radio that you really connect with, well, another 20 years down the road, that song can come on the radio, and it brings you right back to that memory and that pain. And so through music, what I try to do is I try to bring people to that painful place, which sounds horrible, but you bring people to that painful place, but then usually I twist the songs towards the end of bringing them up to a higher place, and you know, things are going to be okay. You're going to get through this, and I think that's where how I try to touch people. That's my ministry. You know, I would say music is my religion. I mean, it's ever since I was a little kid, I knew this is what I was going to do and what I was supposed to do. And I think it's just as powerful as religion or anything else like that.
Well, absolutely. Seeing a sea of people all there gathered there in love at that concert we went to this week. By the way, thank you to our little Earth Angel that gifted us those amazing tickets to the Pretenders and Stevie Nicks, Santa Claus, or Uncle Sam. I can't remember which one it is, but you see that, and everybody's in such a state of grace and acceptance, and everybody's got a smile on their face. And to us, live music is definitely where one or more where two or more gather in my name. They're channeling Creator, and you can see that. And for people like Dawnette and I that can see auras and see frequency, you can see them have this heavenly glow around them.
They start to light up. Yep.
The band, and well, not always.
Yeah.
there are we've also seen bands where they're in a low frequency, so we can see there's something going on within the band. I've been to a concert of a well-known musician, and his guitar player left the night before. And boy, was there a lot of ego on that stage. So you could see that low frequency too. And so, yeah, I think it's one of those things. All musicians, anybody that's, get up and you got to check that ego at the door and, get into that frequency of alignment of gratitude. These people showed up to tune into spirit with you. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's...
Well, and right now we're going through the cold and flu season. And we've also had a death in our family. Since we last gathered here for Valhalla TV.
Yes.
And so, the lungs and the heart being our center for grief. What music can we play that will lift that?
Anything, like I said, when you're in that grief, people, you want to look at it and say, well, I need to listen to something happy, something that makes me happy.
Turn on the Christmas music. No, that didn't do it.
Right.
I mean, so find something that really strikes you, like, to your heart, something that's going to make you cry, something that's going to make you feel all those feelings, because as humans, what we want to do is we want to bottle all that up inside. Mm-hmm. We want to put on the happy face and be like, everything's okay, but we need to take that time to feel those emotions. No matter what they are, if it's happiness, it's grief, it's sorrow, find something that brings that out in you, that one song that just brings the tears to your eyes, and don't hold them back, just let it come out, and that's part of the grieving process.
It is for sure, and like you said, a death any time of year can be difficult, but at Christmas time it seems to anchor us into family, it anchors us into, and our uncle who passed close to 2 years ago, at his funeral, they played Sentimental Journey. And we all sang Sentimental Journey. Not everybody, just lost it, But I think it was such a beautiful thing because we grieved there at the funeral versus this time of year, there'll be no sad faces at Christmas. So we'll just keep following along, and it catches up with you, no matter who you are. As
we discovered, Sentimental Journey is not a song that's often played on the radio today. Mm-hmm. Doris Day is not, on the top hits. And we were heading out for a family event, and we noticed the radio was playing in our father's garage. We're like, what is that sound? Mm-hmm. And sure enough, it was the beginning of Sentimental Journey. And they will get you right at the exact time. So when you can kind of let it go and just live, they'll get through to you. Mm-hmm. At the right time, you could be sitting in the elevator, because everybody has a song that connects them to a certain time in their life, a loved one in their life. And I think it was Dick Clark that said music is the ultimate form of time travel, and it really is. It puts our body and our vibration right back into that frequency that we remember. And we have, obviously, we've talked about our grandmother Musette, which means little muse. Music has been such a part of our family for years because our grandmother knew to always have music, and we have some wonderful family members that are very musically inclined. Dawnette and I are not necessarily. Dawnette is good probably has perfect pitch, but we're not on the stage singing. But
Brian knows better.
Sweet home
Alabama.
yeah, a little
My
inside
best
joke.
honky-tonk.
So when we were in Nashville, we recorded Brian playing on the stage at Tootsie's, and Dawnette forgot that you could hear her voice singing "Sweet Home Alabama" to the words. So
In my
posted
best
it
honky-tonk
online.
voice.
yes, and
After a few
Nashville,
whiskeys.
bringing up Nashville again. We'll talk about how Music City keeps calling us home.
Mm-hmm.
And, Dawnette and I knew that we were going to go down to Nashville for a book signing of our friend Susan Messino's book, Family Traditions,
Yep.
Stories of the Hank. So a little plug for Susan's book. If you got some Hank Williams Senior, Junior, and the Third fans out there, a wonderful book. But we knew, you just know that we just kept seeing that Brian was going to come with us, Brian and his lovely wife. And he's like, well, I don't know that I can do that. Boy, we're really busy. And I'm like, okay, so we just let it go because we trust that everybody's
Let it
supposed
be
to be.
his idea.
Yes. We just trust everything has a beautiful divine timing. And sounds like Brian finally got it that
Yep.
he was finally let go and said, maybe these girls know a little bit more. They haven't led me astray yet.
Yep.
So we ended up going and having a wonderful, because it was always his dream to sing on the stage in Nashville just once, just try it once. And boom, within 10 minutes of being in the city, there he is on stage singing. And so I think that kind of made you maybe a believer in trusting that Spirit is leading you.
Oh yeah.
And
To take those adventures, because it was like, I think it was still the day before.
oh yeah,
I'm like,
you were resisting.
I don't know, we can't afford it, blah blah blah. And then finally, I remember I walked outside and I look up to the sky, and in the sky, like the cloud pattern, it looked like Hank Williams with this big old hat. And I think I was on the phone with one of you, and I'm like, Sarah, come here. And she's like, I guess that we're going to Nashville.
Well, and Hank is a
Extra
big
cooler.
spirit, so
Yeah.
that wouldn't surprise me at all if he couldn't manifest in the sky. As you know now, I brought through Hank in a reading,
Mhm.
and Dawn's brought through Audrey, probably because spirits will attract two similar spirit souls.
Mhm.
So Dawn's obviously far more like Audrey, being the businesswoman, and I'm more like Hank. I just want to hang around and honky tonk all night. But so yes, we have been in contact with some of the loved ones, and Hank is still working. It doesn't matter if you are a country music icon. It doesn't matter if you're the neighbor down the road. Spirit works in miraculous ways, and that's what Dawn and I have. To get a family member their love and their support, and to know that it's going to be okay. We're not sitting on a big fluffy cloud, although Hank is. But they are very much part of our lives. And yes, they are in utopia and paradise. But they know Earth school isn't easy. And they know that, they've had the earthly experience. And, but what connects us more than anything, what opens our heart, it's music and togetherness and family and family traditions.
And using that music as a tool to connect, with family, and to grieve together, to celebrate together. I mean, it really, it's the best medicine out there. Like for me, I dealt with chronic Lyme disease. They were telling me they thought I had MS and stuff, and I think the one thing that got me through that was that music and being able to express myself. And then in turn, people listen to that music and they feel that it's something true and it's from deep down, and they're able to, get through, and it goes out just like dominoes, more and more people it touches. And, I couldn't imagine doing anything more,
Well, and we've had the pleasure of witnessing how tuned into spirit you are. Bringing back old Hank again. He always said if any songs took him any longer than a half an hour to write, he'd chuck them out.
Yep.
Because he knew that there was a lot of ego involved. And Hank's music has stood this test of time because he is the one that,
Mhm.
he's one that channeled spirit. And, other than it being our grandfather and grandmother's music, it's a little ahead of, before our time, meeting Hank and Audrey in the spirit world, you realize they're just like our aunts and uncles. There's no big, like, oh, they're untouchable. And, they had hardships. They had family drama just like us. But it was a hard time, right
And they
after
wrote
World
about
War II.
They wrote about it. Too.
Yep, they wrote
Out
about
there.
those hard times that got us through, going through the Great Depression. They lived through it, and then you get into after World War II. So, so we connect with that music because of our grandparents connecting with that music. And, so when I didn't know much about him, but I really connected with our grandmother and our grandfather, who had a relationship very much like Hank and Audrey on some level. So we could resonate with that. But going into the Hall of Fame, and we had the pleasure of bringing our father there for his 70th birthday, which he loved, and my daughter's 21st birthday. Hi, Emily. The healing that occurs there.
Yeah.
Because people see the generations of music and how our world and our planets evolve through that music.
Yeah.
So you're just that other piece, what you contribute, your gifts of spirit that you're giving, rather than putting them under a bushel.
Yeah.
So we're very excited to see what you're going to be putting out there.
Yeah, and how you talked about how Hank said, if he couldn't write a song in a half an hour, he'd throw it. I'm the same way. Like
I know you are. You
when
write more songs.
Yeah, when it comes to me, like, it can be, I'll be humming a tune or something else, like, I gotta go to my studio and I gotta get this down. Or just a new experience. Like this, I'll show you this tuning right here, tell you a little bit about it. There's a lot of talk about different guitar tunings or methods of, tapping into the right frequencies, and one of them has been discussed. Is called 432 hertz tuning. I experimented a little bit with that before, but you're actually tuning down, and it just feels like you're lowering the vibration, which I think you need to be bringing it up. But others have talked about the 528 hertz tuning, which is for guitar players. If you want to tune to 528 hertz tuning, so it would be a C, like my guitar's tuned to a 528 hertz tuning, open C. But if you want to experiment with it, you just take your tuner, you actually set it to 444 on your tuner, and then your C would be that open C, which is the frequency that our earth and our trees and everything around us vibrates at. So through that, you're supposed to be able to, it's also the tone of healing and love. And so the theory is by listening to that tone or playing that tone, it gets you more in touch and your body to start healing itself, to welcome that love and kindness into your life. And when I first tuned my guitar to this open C, I got a choir teacher, Mark Weiner, who taught me a lot, and he's always like, have you ever tried open tuning? So I'm like, no. So the first day I tuned to this is a little riff I came up with. I'll just play you a little bit from it, and you'll kind of, hopefully you'll feel it. It'll be harder to hear through the computer, but how it affects the body. So. So you can, and when I hit these other notes, so like you're in your open C, these are actually like the chakras. So your C, your D, your E, F, G, A, and all the way to the crown, your B. So through those notes, they correlate to different chakras in your body. And I kind of, when I work with people, you can kind of tell, you learn to read their frequency and where they need to work at. So I always bring this guitar. That's one of the first songs I play to kind of read that in them. Mm-hmm. And then you can kind of get a shift as you run up and down the scale. You can see what affects them more, what they react to, and that's where you know to do your work.
So basically you're doing music Reiki.
Yeah, basically.
And you know, learning Reiki, Reiki 1, because you're a Reiki student. Have you noticed any understanding the vibration, the frequency, and the chakra systems? It's got it. You got to be able to feel that through the music coming, the Reiki coming through your hands, through the chords, out into their frequency. That's amazing.
Yeah, and just when I write music too, it's usually because I need something. You know, it's like I'm not writing music because I'm happy and in a good mood and everything's going great. It's usually like some trauma's happened or something's going on, and that's why a lot of my music, you know, in the past has been they say heartfelt, because I was going through grieving at that time. Your lungs in here, and when I play those songs, even to this day, I feel that just open up, and it's like I release all that old garbage, and then like I can breathe again. And playing and singing, you know, 3, 4, 5 nights a week, like I've done for the past 10 years, has been that therapy for me. So I get it for free, and I get paid to do it.
Right.
Just like our Reiki.
Yeah, just like when you give a Reiki attunement, you get one.
Exactly. You give a reading, you get one. When you channel spirit, because, you know, Dawn and I being channels of spirit readers, you know, for many years, you know, the ego's always there. We're human, and the ego is a gift to be able to bring us back up to that higher frequency. But, you know, I get these readings, these channeled messages, and go, wow, that was brilliant. Why didn't Spirit give me that message?
Because it wasn't for you.
Well, no, it was for me.
Yeah.
But I thought it was just for the person sitting across from me, and it truly is where two or more gather. So, although Spirit's giving you the gift of healing through your music, you're able to gift it to someone else, and that is really awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's like when I was a little kid too. I always one of the things I always said I wanted to be was a musician, but I also wanted to be a minister. My brother and sister can attest to this. That we'd get home, I was like 4 o'clock. I was like 4 years old. We'd get home for church, and I would give them a sermon down in the basement. And over the years, you know, I've dabbled in that. I'm an ordained minister, but I've kind of left a lot of that behind. And over the years, I've had people who've known me for so long, like, why don't you go into the ministry? And why don't you do something along that lines? And my answer is, I already am. This is my ministry right here. To be the purest form of who I am, to put it out there and let people take of it what they will, and hopefully it helps them and helps them, you know, grow and expand as humans too. So this is my ministry.
Right.
So.
Dawn, can you resonate with that a little bit?
Yeah. And that tune you played from Mark's work, didn't we incorporate that into our meditation?
Yeah.
So
because his stuff is, Mark Wayner's music is a lot of open tuning stuff like that. He knows the power of healing through music.
Yes, he does.
He's been through it numerous times, and we're praying for him right now as he goes through another battle with cancer. And keep playing those instruments, Mark, and keep spreading your light.
Teacher, so.
Mark Wayner is our, was back in the day, but you know you're getting old when you say back in the day. Great, Susan. But, you know, we, in a small town, we all learned about music and music history and its, you know, incredible powers from a young age. We were all in this town blessed to have had Mark as a teacher. So, yes, Mark, we're all praying for you and rooting for you. And your teachings, you know, just as we teach what we know and what we've learned from our teachers, you know, we do believe that, a creator works through other people. Mm-hmm. And ministry is love. And you can do that anywhere, any way you can, just as long as you are giving your gifts of spirit. You know, we are all unique and different. But one thing that does connect us and that makes us all, you know, it is love and music. You know, it's global. Clients have asked us before, is there music in heaven? And we kind of laugh because that's one of the main ways, you know, spirit works through us, is through music. So absolutely, there's music in heaven. And we've worked with people that have crossed over to the other side and have heard the choirs of angels, have heard that toning and that, you know, that frequency that they say our human ears couldn't even wrap their mind around. So yeah, I think it's something that makes us feel connected to that heavenly place that we were before we came here, and that we'll go back to. So I think that's why people, sometimes you just need to feel heaven, or as close as we can get to it. And I believe music is that answer.
With that all being said, do you have any closing remarks for us before we go?
Just thanks. Very, very heartfelt, grateful thanks. Thank you for letting me sit off to the side today and work with my grief and my music. And so thank you for playing us out. And,
No problem.
and we'll let you close with some music.
All right. Yeah, we'll play a little music to close with. And again, thanks for joining us on Valhalla TV.
Thank you.
Where we never script anything, we just go with the flow and do this.
And you're stuck with us.
And you're stuck with us. So
I don't. You can go watch something.
You can watch something else. You can watch Kitties on YouTube. But, again, if there's any questions you guys have, you know how to get a hold of Tammy and Dawn or myself. Send us a message. What would you like us to talk about? Any guests you would like us to have on here? We'd be totally willing to work something out. So we'll do a little more open tuning to get you a little more connected to your surroundings.
May not have the best
Thank
job in
you.
the world.
We'll see you guys next week.
See you next week, guys.